Okay, now we got it. So apparently, the two videos that I made before, I'm very sorry, y'all. We're starting a little bit late, so we can end a little bit late. We're starting at 6:30, so we can end at 7:30. Now we're able to start. I didn't realize that my settings had my live on only me for some reason, so I'm the only person that was able to see. So by the way, I'm wearing lip gloss from my cousin, my little cousin, Naya, who makes these beautiful natural lip glosses. So shout out to Naya and her beautiful lip gloss. Got me all glossy, girl, feeling like a goddess. Okay, I had to restart the live twice, y'all. Let me just put that up here. I had to restart my live twice because it was on only me. I'm so sorry. Starting the name analysis now. I had technical, difficulties before. Thank y'all so much for bearing with me. So as I stated in the first two videos that I thought people were watching, the name is very important. The vibration of your name, the vibration of your child's name is very important. It's very important. What's up, y'all? It's very important on what you name your child. And the names, because it speaks to the vibration on who they are to some degree destined to be and their personality. So, for example, my government name, my original name is Asma. And my mother thought of my name very carefully. Asma is an Arabic name. It means the enchanted one. It means highly thought of in the community. So it's very important. But Asma has a vibration with a lot of number ones in it. So it gives me a certain type of personality that is a lot and doesn't really like to follow rules and directions. Hey, that's just a part of me. So, I'm going to be using the Pythagorean system of numerology in particular today because it's faster, it's quicker. So we're focusing on analysis of children's names, children's first names. So feel free to type in your child's first name, a child you know, and I'm going to tell you about this child and give you some advice working with this child, okay? Based on the vibration that I calculate with their name. I got my pen and paper ready. Also, I'll tell you also strategies that might help you with the child in particular. Donations are accepted through Cash App. My Cash App is $A Zabriskie. I actually am going to put that in the chat. Or through Venmo. My Venmo is Ozma Zabriskie, my full name. Let me type it in the chat real quick. So everyone can have it. There's no minimum amount of donation. So if you have $5, that's helpful. Whatever you have is helpful. If you have $25, if you want to give me 50, people have given me that. That's helpful as well and greatly appreciated. Donations accepted via Cash App. Let me put $A Zabriskie. Or Venmo. And my Venmo is Ozma. Make sure y'all spell my name right so y'all don't be giving nobody else my donation, please. All right. Significance of the name is very important. So as y'all know, I like to start out with prayer or with song. So I'm going to do a prayer. I already lit my sage and everything, getting ready. Have my little singing bowl here. So listen to the vibrations of the singing bowl before we get started. First, I want to honor the Most High, honor my ancestors, spirit guides, all the elements, the earth, air, water, fire, and the ethers. Honor the plants, Pachamama, Mother Nature. Honor the children and the animals. Yeah, hey, hey, hey. Hey, yeah, yeah, hey. And that song is a download straight from my ancestors that came to me one day. So we're gonna begin. Feel free to type your niece's name, your nephew's name, your children's name. There's not a lot of people here tonight, but that's okay. Hopefully they'll stroll in. Whoever's meant to be here is meant to be here. So please type in the names that you would like me to analyze first. Don't forget that donations are accepted via Cash App or Venmo. And I'm going to tell you about these children because this is a new breed of children. Every generation is a new breed of children who are here for different purposes. You know, I find that you'll have some generations where their decade is children that are very creative. And then you'll have some generations where the children are... Sorry, my best friend is calling me, but she gonna have to wait because we all live. You have some generations where the children are not just very creative, but very revolutionary in spirit, very feisty. You see that with a lot of the younger generation now. You'll see a lot of feistiness. Yes, girl. I'm on now. Okay. Started late. Technical difficulties. On my phone. Doing live now. Okay. Tell my best friend stop hitting me up. So we're going to start with the first one. There go my bestie. We're going to start with the first name that I got, which is Crystalie. Okay, so we're going to start with Crystalie. I'm using the Pythagorean system again. So I'm going to write down a name and analyze the numbers. Okay. So looking at Crystalie That's a talkative child. She likes to talk. She likes to socialize. She's a little bit of a social butterfly. She also doesn't like to follow rules. She likes to do her own thing. She likes to do what the hell she wants to do. I can tell by the amount of ones in her name and the amount of fives. Yeah, she's definitely a social butterfly. She's self-directed. Ooh, she's authoritative. She likes to tell people what to do. Her name basically equals an 8 vibration altogether, which tells me that she can be kind of bossy. She can also be a little bit of a bully. But when you look at the vibration of the letters in the name, she has multiple fives, multiple ones. So the multiple ones tell me that she has her own style. She likes to do things the way she wants to do it. She doesn't like to follow directions. That's what gives me the idea that she's self-directed of a child. The multiple fives tell me that she's a talkative child, and that she's a little bit of a social butterfly. She even has a 3 in there as well. And 3 and 5 are actually opposites. So say, for example, if her parent is under the number 3, they may have a little opposition with her because of those multiple fives in her name. Because 5 and 3, even though they're very similar in a lot of ways, they're opposites. So yeah, that's Crystal Lee. Let's see. For a self-directed child, I just want to add this. For a self-directed child like Crystal Lee, she needs a little bit of room to express herself and to be free. She's a kid that you can show her how to do something, maybe once or twice, but then she needs room to be able to do it on her own. She wants to do everything kind of on her own and figure it out. She can be kind of hard-headed. So she'd be a little hard-headed, but the good thing is that she's a natural leader. She has leadership qualities, and other kids may look to her for different things because of these leadership qualities. So she's a kid where if you're trying to show her how to do, for example, long division, you show her how to do it maybe once or twice, and then you give it to her and let her try it. Even if she makes mistakes, she has to kind of learn by doing things her own way. She's also a kid that can be a little bit on the scattered side and a little all over the place and have her hand in multiple things. She has so many likes. Diverse child as well. She likes diversity. She likes to travel. And it's good for her to travel, absolutely, because of these multiple fives. And also she has a 9 in her name. And those are travel numbers. The multiple ones are travel numbers also. So it's important that this child travels and gets to learn about other cultures, other things. Yeah, that's a way to support her, help her with traveling, but also, give her skills, but also know that she's going to make her own mistakes because she's kind of hard-headed. She gonna want to do what she want to do her way. In her mind, her way is the best way. So yeah, that's Crystal Lee. Let's see. What other children's names do y'all have for me? Manuel. Probably call him Manny. That's another social butterfly. He's popular. He finished calculating his name. 10, 15. Manuel and Crystal Lee probably argue with each other. They probably argue with each other sometimes. But Manuel is also a social butterfly, a popular child. He has these 3s and these 5s in his name, multiple 3s and 5s. He would do well in entertainment. He would do well in something like writing to help express himself properly because he definitely has writing numbers. He's an expressive child. He does not like to bite his tongue. He likes to say what the hell is on his mind. And it's important for him to express himself, but he has to know when to not let his mouth get him in trouble. That's something that you'll find very common with that 3. They're very expressive. They don't like to bite their tongue. And when they say things, woo, their words are very, very powerful and very strong and like a gut punch. But yeah, Manuel just has to work on having tact with his words and how he words things. Wording things properly because he is an expressive child. And you don't want to shut that down about him being expressive, but you want him to know the proper way to express himself. Manuel also has to be wary of people bringing him into situations, having friends that get him involved into situations. If Crystal Lee and Manuel are very young, you may want to watch who babysits them. You don't want too many people. You don't want the wrong people babysitting those children. Sometimes you see certain things in numbers that will indicate possible traumas. So you want to be very careful on who babysits those 2 children if they're still little. Going back to Manuel. Manuel is... he likes to express himself even in the way that he dresses. Even in... It's just his freedom is so important to him. And his expression. And him and Crystal Lee, they argue. I can tell you they argue. I can tell you they have a back and forth with each other. Like, I want to do this my way. Nah, I want to do this my way. No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. Because I see some conflict a little bit in their numbers. But it's not anything to be worried about. Just make sure that Manuel stays out of gossip, drama, controversy. He stays out of... people putting his name in things that may not always be his fault, and he has to be mindful of how he says things. Let's see, what's the next name? Soraya Lise. Some pretty names. Oops, I spelled it wrong. Soraya Lise. Okay. Ooh. Soraya Lise. You gave these kids some strong names. Wow. Sorry, I'm still calculating the whole name. These are some... Soraya Lise is even more self-directed than Crystal Lee and Manuel. And Soraya Lise might actually get into some fights as a kid in her younger years. She got some warrior spirit going on here. 10, 20, 27, 28, 29, 37. Hold on, let me double check something. Soraya Lise. She's another trendsetter type of child. Very self-directed. Very, very self-directed. Very outspoken. She's a child that might get into a couple of fights, as I was stating, because she has this warrior spirit energy about her, because of some of these numbers. She's a fighter. Soraya Lise is a fighter. She also... You have to be mindful with Soraya Lise about her thoughts. She overanalyzes and overthinks in her mind. She's constantly thinking. She has trouble shutting her mind off. And she goes off when she's angry. When she's upset, she goes off. because those thoughts replay in her mind. Soraya Lease, how can I say this? Soraya Lease, it's important for Soraya Lease to have a level of discipline in her life, discipline and order. She needs discipline, routine. That will help her in her overall functioning. She gets into misunderstandings. People misunderstand her a lot. But she's very blunt with her words, very straightforward. She says what she means, and she speaks her truth. She says exactly what she means, and she speaks her truth. Spiritual grounding will be very good for Soraya Lease and Crystal Lee. Getting into some level of spirituality. That doesn't necessarily mean religion, but some level of spirituality will be good for them to kind of help ground them. She has a lot of... Soraya at least needs to go into her own business. Because that's what will work the best for her. Because she has all these leadership numbers and leadership qualities. And people love to follow her. She's the type of person that needs to do her own business. She wouldn't typically fit too long in the mainstream business world because she's not a robot. She has to express herself how she does it. She has to have a way to do things the way that she needs to, that makes sense in her mind. So it's very important for Soraya Lease to find out what she wants to do in life if she hasn't already found it, and go into her own business. Soraya Lease also should get into some level of martial arts or some type of fighting style. Because she has that warrior spirit. She's the type of person where if something ain't right, she'd be the first one to speak up about it. And she would be the one to defend everybody else. That's just her spirit. Let me see the next one. Angel. Angel. Oops. Angel. You got a lot of social butterflies. Angel's talkative. 10. 20. I would think Angel and Manuel get along well. They have a lot of similarities in the vibration of their names. They both are social butterflies. They love to hang out with their friends. They love going out. They both would do well with writing. You know what I mean? They both are children that are very expressive, love to be the life of the party when they're around their friends. But they both have to make sure that people don't bring them into drama. Angel and Manuel. I could see them hanging out a lot. They have some similarities in their names. I could see where they would clash a little bit, but I could see where they hang out with each other, where they tight with each other. He's another one that it's important how he says things. Manuel, it's a little more with Manuel than it is with Angel, but Angel has to be mindful of how he says things, say things with tact, say things a certain way so that he doesn't get himself into things because he likes to express how he feels. Yeah, all these 5 vibrations. Angel, Manuel, they need just like Crystal Lee, they need a sense of direction because they can be kind of scattered as well. They have those numbers, all 3 of them. Or they'll be into one thing. They have to practice finishing things that they start. Because they'll start something and go on to the next thing. They start something and go on to the next thing. They got to practice finishing and completing what they start first and then go on to the next thing. It will also be very good for those three children, actually all of the children, to learn another language. All of your kids got travel numbers, and all of them, it would be good for them to learn another language. They will be very good at that. Let me see. What's the next one? Aisha. I know Aisha. Aisha's more calm and peaceful. She's the child that doesn't like to be around drama. She doesn't like to be around controversy, and people come to her with their problems a lot. Very sweet person. The only thing is that people will try to misuse her because of some things in her numbers. She can be outspoken. She has some strong numbers as well. She can be outspoken. She can be self-directed. But she kind of prefers peace than war. So she has to practice discernment between what's right and what's wrong so that people don't try to misuse her or trick her into things. Yeah. Because people would try to put things past her. And so it's very important that meditation would be good for her. Learning meditation. So at times when she doesn't feel at peace, and she has to know when it's okay to use her throat chakra. She has to learn to speak up about things that she doesn't speak up about. There's things that she needs to say that she's afraid to talk about. But yeah, she's the peacemaker. Everybody wants to come to her with a problem. And she's very sensitive child. She's the one out of all of these kids that will cry first. You know what I mean? Based on the vibration of her name. She's a natural counselor. May even be an empath. Very, very gentle, sweet soul. But she has some fire to her as well. When she gets upset, she gets feisty. Because she has a lot of fire numbers in her name. Let me see. Amaryllis? Amarialise. Maybe Amarialise. Maybe that's how you pronounce it. Am I saying it right? Amarialise? That's pretty. Oh, that's 3. Bugging. 7, 1. Maria Elise is a little more like Soraya Elise. Number wise. Let's see. 10, 20, 7, 34, 36. She's another one that needs to study some martial arts or something. With all these warrior numbers she got up in here. Another one that would benefit from travel. She would definitely benefit from having her own business, doing things her own way. She needs that creative freedom to express herself and do things her way. She's another one that probably got into a lot of fights, if she doesn't already get into fights with people. And she's good at it. Her numbers are very similar to Soraya Elise. Another self-directed child. They're the type that would, she's the type that would, she seeks appreciation. She wants to be appreciated for the things that she does for other people. One thing about Amari Elise and Soraya Elise that will be good for them also is to go into something like charity work, having them do charity work with you, or doing charity work on their own. It would be very fulfilling for them. They love to be around their friends. Her and Soraya, at least, they love to be around their friends. It's important for them to have some type of sisterhood bonding or some type of family bonding. They love hard, both of them. They love very hard. They love strong. And sometimes they're very wrong and strong. When they're wrong about something, they go very hard sometimes. But until they realize that they're wrong, but they always feel justified. Both of them. But yeah, they are very similar in their numbers, and a lot of their numbers. Spiritual grounding again, for Amari Elise as well, would be beneficial. Teach them about spirituality, about nature. That will be very good for them. In terms of health conditions, Manuel and Angel, be mindful of their blood pressure, possibly low blood pressure. You want to make sure they don't have low blood pressure. Soraya Elise and Krista Lee, they're the type of kids that the doctors will misdiagnose easily. They have to take care of their overall health. Eating better, drinking water, general stuff. Because if they go to the doctors don't never seem to know what the hell they have and give them more than one test. Amari Elise, what I would say with her is she needs to watch her for high blood pressure. Because she's feisty. She's feisty. And Aisha needs to drink lots of water. She has a very sensitive stomach. Aisha probably has a lot of conflict with Amari Elise and even Soraya Elise. They probably go back and forth with each other, they're siblings. And they may be a little bit, and Krista Lee, they might all kind of be like a little bit of a bully to Aisha and boss her around because Aisha's numbers. But Aisha has to practice using her throat chakra. Definitely. You should also teach her about the chakras and the importance of the chakras. She has to use her voice. She has to speak up. Don't be afraid to speak up. But Amari Elise and Aisha have opposite numbers. That's why I'm like, they may clash a little bit at times. You know, there's still love there because they're family, but they may clash because of their numbers. Let me see. Alazni. Mm-hmm. 10, 9, 27. Alazni is similar in certain ways to Amari Elise and in certain ways to Soraya Elise. But Alazni is a different energy. Alazni actually so far has probably the most balanced name in terms of vibration. Alazni is another self-directed child, another independent child that likes to do what they want to do their way. Alazni also has some authoritative numbers. Alazni also have a smart mouth. Certain numbers, man. You can tell the kids have a smart mouth by the numbers in their name. You be like, what? Alazni is the type also that will stick up for the underdog. That's Amari Elise and Alazni. And I'm almost positive they get along with each other. They're the type that if there's a bully, they will bully the bully because of the numbers, the vibration in their name. Alasni, Amari Elise, and Soraya Elise. All of them martial arts or some type of fighting style. Not so they could go around kicking everybody's ass, but so they could go around learning formal ways of fighting, because they have lots of warrior, feisty energy to them. That will help them a lot. I wouldn't even be surprised if any of them keep a stash of weapons. Like a little mouth blade or something, if anybody bother them. Because the numbers that I see with them, some feisty babies. Some feisty babies. Very outspoken, like to do things. So I'll give y'all an example. I used to have a student. And this student was a number 9 child. And this little boy, now even though your children may not be number 9s, those 3 children in particular have a lot of 9 energy. And this student, you couldn't shut this kid up. He would talk back, and I loved him so much. He would talk back, and he didn't realize he was talking back because he couldn't help it. Because he just is that type of child, that type of personality where he has to say what he has to say. He has to get it off his chest. He cannot not get it off his chest. He was one of those kids. And it would drive the rest of my staff crazy in the classroom. My aides, my assistants, they would call him like his kid, Miss Z. They would call me Miss Z. He's acting out. But I knew how to deal with him because I knew his birthday. And I would like, oh, and I had to pull him aside and say, come here. Little preschooler, very intelligent. I'm sure each one of these kids are clever. And they may try to pull a fast one. But this boy, I would have to tell him, come here. So let me tell you something. And I had to talk to him like that. But we were able to vibe on that level because our numbers are agreeable. So I knew how to deal with that child. That's the important thing about knowing the children and their numbers and different things, even the vibration of their name. You know what they're coming with. You know what kind of child they are. You know if they're going to be self-directed. You know if they want to do everything on their own. You have some children where you'll see them with the baby bottle and they don't want you to feed them. They want to feed themselves because that's just who they are. That's part of their being. They're very independent by nature. And something about all 3 of these kids, they like to be very independent. It also, just like the other ones that I mentioned, it would also benefit them to learn another language. That would be great for them to learn. They would be great at it. Also benefit from traveling because they have travel numbers. Let me see something. Especially Crystal Lee. Because Crystal Lee has all of the travel numbers. Yeah, she got all the travel numbers. She definitely needs to travel. So doing more traveling with the family or getting them into programs where they could travel and learn about different cultures, learn about the world, that's very important. Let me see. I think you got one more baby. Ayani. That's a pretty name. Ayani. 18715. Let me see. 10, 18, 19, 26. That's another child that's often misunderstood, like Soraya Elise. Ayani's self-directed, but she's a little more calmer, like Alasni. I'm sorry. They're more calmer out of the kids. Aisha's kind of calm too, but she's very sensitive. But Ayani is a child that likes to be independent as well. But Ayani's often misunderstood. Ayani's the type of kid that should get toys like building manipulatives if they're still little. That's something that Ayani would enjoy because of the vibration of that child's name. Ayani's a girl or boy? I think Ayani's a girl, right? That child will probably like building manipulatives, blocks, magnetiles, things like that, because of the vibration of their name. They like to figure things out, and he or she is a very investigative child. They like to figure out how things work. So that's the type of child that you give a toy to, and they'll break the fucking toy apart. They'll break it apart to figure out how it works. So they'll look at it and look at the pieces and everything. Very analytical. That's another child that lives in their head, just like Soraya Elise. Those two children, you have to be mindful that they don't overthink themselves into depression or into, because they go deep with their thoughts. They overanalyze things. They second guess themselves a lot. So you want to make sure that you're teaching them to, meditation will be good for both of them as well. You want to teach them to turn their mind off at times. Give their mind a rest sometimes. You don't have to overanalyze everything, but it's a good skill to be analytical and to break things apart in your mind and figure things out that way. Let me see. Oh, yeah, she's little me. Yes, she is. That's another kid that will get misdiagnosed by doctors. So that kid needs spiritual grounding, but also needs to just maintain overall health. Just general good eating practices, general good amounts of water, things like that. Exercise would be good for Ayani and Soraya Elise, excuse me. Yeah. Let me see if there's anybody. Auntie said Tamara. Let's analyze Tamara. 2, 1, 4, 1, 9, 1. Don't like to listen. Let's see. Let me calculate everything all together. 10, 16, 17, 18. Argumentative. All of these babies that I said that got these 9s can be very argumentative. They are the children that will go back and forth with you. Even when they're little, even when they're babies and they don't even really know words. You could say something, here, eat your food. Those be the kids that go back and forth. So that applies to Tamara, that applies to Alazni, that applies to Amari Elise, that applies to Soraya Elise. Those are the kids that will go back and forth with you and be argumentative at times. Tamara loves to express herself her own way. She doesn't like to follow directions. A lot of times when you see a lot of number 1s in a person's name, those are the people, right? That regular 9 to 5s do not always work out for them too long. They kind of suffer being in a regular 9 to 5. I'm someone with 1,000,001 ones in my name, so I understand. Those are the people who, because they're self-directed and they like to do things their way, they can be stubborn. They can be, they love to be independent. They love to have their own things. In particular, Tamara, her own things are very important to her. She don't like nobody touching her shit. Don't mess with her stuff. Don't bother her stuff. Her stuff is her stuff. She can be a little bit on the stubborn side. Very feisty. Lots of fire numbers throughout this name. Very feisty. And her name equals a 9 vibration, which tells me that's where the argumentative piece comes in. But she likes to give to others. She's very giving. She can be very giving of a person. She has to be mindful of knowing when to pick her battles. That's for all the people with all of those 9s. They have to be mindful of knowing when to pick their battles. Everything isn't worth a back and forth in an argument. Sometimes it's okay to simmer down and just let things rock. Other times, you got to speak up. So just practicing discernment with knowing when to voice how you need to feel and when to just kind of simmer down and calm down a little bit. So since I know Tamara personally, one thing I will say is that Tamara's name is opposite of her birthday, which tells me that Tamara has trouble balancing. She goes from the sensitive water energy in her birthday to firing off. So she goes from one extreme to the other. You know what I mean? Either she can be very soft and sensitive and gentle, or she just goes off the handle. And some of that is that back and forth between the opposition between those two numbers, the number in her birthday and the number in her name. Let me see. He is very much a little man. Refer him in a suit and tie. Soraya Lisa's here. Aisha's waiting for hers. I'm sorry, I'm just reading all of these now. When she was young, several fights. With all of those 9 energies, several fights. When you see all them 9s, those are the kids that be popping off. Or that be getting themselves, not getting themselves all the time, but just getting into things. Sometimes it's not their fault, but they get into those fights. Let me see. Yes, it's interesting. They're similar, but very different. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Peace. Hey, Sarah. They're the same age for 2 days. Riley's. Yep. And Crystal Lee in my 20s. Yes, that's little Alejandra. Hey, Alejandro. Yes, I am, Sarah. I'm just doing name analysis. That's what I'm focusing on. Hi, Tammy. How you doing? Tamiris. Let me see. Now we gotta go search for weapons. All of mine wow before they crawled. What do I provide for a reading? Maisha, whatever you can. Whatever you can. You just also I'm accepting donations via Cash App, via Venmo. I put that in the beginning of the chat. I put but if you still need it, just let me know. You just provide the first name of your child, and I'll give them a name analysis based on the numbers and the vibration of their name. Okay, so that was Ayani. That's a girl. Okay. I see my cousin Shaquan. Hey, Shaquan. Okay. Let me see. Christian. Okay. Without an H. I never see it like that. Christian. Okay. Let's look at Christian. That's a feisty baby. That's a feisty child. That's an argumentative one that wants to do things their way. Definitely. Oh, man. I'm looking at these these numbers. Let's calculate all of this together. 10, 20, 29. Christian is a little leader. A lot of kids like to follow him. You have to make sure that he's leading the right direction. Lots of kids like to follow him. You want to make sure that he's not leading them into acting up in school and stuff like that. Because Christian is a vocal child. He can be argumentative. And he feels like his way is right. It's his way or the highway, honey. He's popular too. He's kind of popular of a child. And he is a fighter. Getting a lot of fighters tonight. He is a little warrior. Christian is a child that you want to make sure that he doesn't have any low blood pressure. You want to make sure that you monitor his blood pressure, make sure he doesn't have low blood pressure. You want to make sure that he's choosing his battles. He's not always being argumentative with people. But Christian also likes to help others. He is drawn to charity work. You know what I mean? He doesn't mind. He's probably a kid that doesn't mind sharing. It's cool. That would be that one kid that, you know, all other kids don't want to share, but he would be the one that may share. He's a child that you want to teach him balance. He has to pick his battles, especially nowadays with young black men, with what's going on in society, what's going on with police and different things like that. You want to make sure that he knows when it's time to speak out and when it's time to be a little more reserved. He has to learn that balance. Christian is a child that will benefit from traveling and learning a foreign language as well. Definitely. Definitely a child that will learn from those things. Want to make sure he don't have high blood pressure. You got to monitor his blood pressure. Make sure his blood pressure don't go too low or too high. You know what I mean? Yeah, he shares with everybody and wants to help everybody. Yup. Wants to help everybody under the sun. But let him find out that they're trying to trick him or be mean to him. He will go off. He probably whip their ass. Because it's not fair. You know, he loves to share, loves to give. And that's a part of that number. Some of the numbers that I see, he has a lot of repeated 9s and he has repeated 1s. You know what I mean? Which tells me that he would benefit more from working independently sometimes, because so he won't get in conflict with other people. Sometimes he just needs to work independently. You know what I mean? He needs to get a project by himself. Even though he likes to share in different things, because some of these numbers make him prone to arguments. And you also want to make sure that, see, he always says that's not fair. Yeah. Because he wants to be appreciated and loved for the love and spirit he has. Because he likes to share, because he's a giving child, he wants to be appreciated for it. And so when people don't appreciate it, that fires him up and that pisses him off. He's like, no, that's not fair. Like, no, I was being fair. I was sharing with you. You got to make sure his mouth don't get him in trouble, though, boy. Because his mouth, he says things without filter. Oh, my gosh. If he thinks somebody stink, he'd be the kid to say it. He'd be the kid to be like, you stink. Like, no filter with Christian. He definitely has that feisty energy. He's a creative child, too. A creative child. And he likes music. Him, Amari Elise likes music. Soraya Elise likes music. They're musical children. They like music. So that's my little name analysis for Christian. Let me see. I think I saw another name. That's the kid, girl. He's sitting here laughing. That's the vibration you gave that baby. You know, he's a warrior spirit. He's a young man, you know. But he just have to learn when to calm it down and when to, you know what I mean? When to pick his battles. And he would also do well in any kind of fighting style, any kind of martial arts, anything like that. He would do well because that feisty energy, it will help him. Like, he needs that. You know what I mean? He would benefit from that. Soraya Elise would benefit from that. Amari Elise would benefit from that. Oh, man. He playing trumpet now? Yeah, he's a musical baby. I thought I saw somebody else put another name. Oh, there we go. Journey. All right. And, I skipped Shayla. I skipped Bailey. Hold on now. I went too far. Let's go to Bailey. And then we're going to go to Shayla. And then we're going to go to Journey. Bailey. Bailey has a very balanced name. What I mean by balance is that Bailey doesn't have a lot of repeated numbers. When you see a lot of repeated numbers in a name, that energy is stronger and stronger. Give me 2 seconds. 10, 18. Bailey's a little feisty too, though. Bailey's a little feisty too. Bailey's a lovely little warrior, but she's a little calmer. She has more of a balanced name. Let me see something. I see water. I see fire. 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 Yeah, Bailey's feisty. Air. Water. Bailey struggles with the balance sometimes between her water and fire energies in her name. Sensitive child. Feisty child. Especially when she gets upset. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. As a boy, I'm sorry. Especially when he gets upset. He can be feisty. He can go off. And he could just want to tear shit up when he gets upset. But he has a pretty much balanced name. He's, I'm getting a lot of 9 energy out of these babies. This is a new generation. He has a lot of fire numbers in his name. But it's interesting because he almost has all the elements in his name. He has water, fire, and air all in his name. The only element he doesn't have is earth. When's Bailey's birthday, if you don't mind me asking? Because I'm wondering if Bailey's an earth sign, because then he have all the elements. Hey, Cousin Ray. And after Bailey, we're going to jump to Ashayla. Let me see. When's Bailey? Oh, Bailey's a fire sign. Bailey, he has a lot of fire. 12-5. He's a number 5 child. Huh. But born, he's a Sagittarius. And so Sag is ruled by the number 3. But he's a 5 child. 5 and 3 is opposites. So there's a little conflict in himself. But he's going to be a popular baby. Very likable. Very likable child. He going to be talkative a little bit. Yeah, he's going to be very talkative. Is he able to talk yet? Or is he still baby? Oh, wait, 2017. Oh, yeah, he can talk. Yeah, he's talkative already then. Because he's about 3 years old. He just turned 3. Happy birthday, Bailey. He just turned 3. He's a talkative baby. He has a pretty balanced name, but he has a lot of fire energy. He is feisty. He is a child that you got to take to the park a lot in his younger years so he can burn off that feisty energy. He going to want to jump. He going to want to climb. He going to want to touch every damn thing. So you want to make sure you keep him occupied and you keep him moving and you keep him in activities. It's very important for Bailey to stay active and be in activities. A lot of hands-on activities will be good for him. Hands-on things, hands-on making things. Play-Doh. Let me see. Definitely Play-Doh. Definitely, what is the other thing that they call it in school? Model magic. There we go. That's like the new Play-Doh. Model magic. You know, I taught preschool. Play-Doh. Things like that. Even science things. Oh my gosh. Getting him into science things, but where he can do hands-on experiments. Little baby experiments. As he gets a little bit older, sink or float activities in the summertime. You know what I mean? Have him do stuff with changing the colors of things, with food coloring. He would really, really like things that are scientific. That's what my spirit feels. He's going to like the science stuff, the math stuff, but lots of hands-on activities for baby Bailey. You know, even the little baby puzzles and things like that. I would give that more to a number 4 child. However, let me see, 3. Bailey also needs organization and discipline as well. You know what I mean? The structure will help him in life, especially him being born on the 5th, because he'll have a tendency to be a little scattered at times, and he wants to start one thing and go to the next, and start one thing and go to the next. And at his age, that's kind of okay, because that's normal. But as he gets older, you want him to finish things that he completes. You know what I mean? Not just because he has an interest in the moment and then he jumps to the next thing. Routines. Yes. No problem. No problem. If y'all can, please bless my Cash App if y'all can, or my Venmo. Let me see. We got Ashayla and then we got Sienna. So we're going to do Sienna and we're going to close out with Sienna. Ashayla. 1, 5, 3, 1, 8. Shayla got a number 1. That baby stubborn. That baby stubborn like Tamara's name. Like Tamara, like Soraya Leaves. Some stubborn babies. Let me see. 8, 9, 10, 15, 18. Shayla is an independent baby. She's probably a baby that is going to start holding her bottle on her own early. The reason I say that is because she likes to do everything by herself. She's very self-directed. She's another one that needs to have their own business. Because she's very self-directed. She can be straightforward, blunt with her words. Say how she feels, sometimes without filter. Very, very territorial about her things, kind of like how with Tamara. Territorial about their things. Don't mess with their shit. That's their stuff. That's their toy. That's their bottle. That's their mommy. Don't mess with it. Ashayla, she has a little bit of a opposition, slight opposition in her name. And it's funny because her name is actually opposite of her birthday. September 26th, right? Yeah. Her name is, because her birthday is under an 8 vibration. And her name equals 1. And 1 and 8 are opposites. Because 8 is an earth number. 1 is a fire number. So there may be a little bit of that push and pull in that personality. So it's like, the 8 energy wants to be grounded, wants routine. The 1 energy doesn't want no routine, wants to do things their fucking way. So it's kind of that push and pull kind of energy going on. The 1 energy can be very, very stubborn, very my way or the highway. The 8 energy can be a little bit of a bully on its lower vibration. Can be a very authoritative. That's an authoritative child. That's a child that's going to demand what the hell she wants. I want chips. I want juice. I want to play. I want this. I want mommy. I want daddy. That's a demanding child. So I know Ashayla's still young. Get ready, because she's going to be very demanding. She's going to be very demanding with what she wants. And very feisty. Let me see. Sienna, 1, 9, 5, 5, 5, 1. Be mindful of who babysits Sienna. Don't let everybody babysit her. Only people that you know that you can really, really trust. 5, 10, 15. 6. Sienna's a popular child. If she's still little, she's going to be popular. Talkative. Gonna be a talkative baby. Very talkative. She's a child that needs to express herself, wants to express herself the way she wants to. She's another self-directed child. I'm getting a lot of self-directed babies today. Sienna can be a little bit stubborn. She has a lot of air energy in her name. A lot of air energy. She's the type of kid that breaks toys easily. She's the type of kid that, and not on purpose, not like the other kids that I mentioned earlier in the video that breaks toys to figure out how it works and analyze it. She's the type of kid that she's kind of like, not clumsy, but like she can drop and break things kind of easily at times. Will not say sorry to save her life. Because she feels justified. She feels justified. But you definitely be mindful on who babysits her. You want to make sure that no one is touching her inappropriately. I'll just say that. Want to be very, very mindful about that. So the reason I say that is that some numbers are kind of sensual. So sometimes when I'm doing numerology readings, I could see if there's potential trauma that can come, or if there's trauma that happened based on the numbers at times, because certain traumas are attracted to different types of numbers. So I don't want you to be scared, but I want you to just be mindful of not letting everyone watch her. But yeah, she's a child that she's into technology. Technology will be very good for her to learn how to use the computer, learn how to use them tablets, all of that. She could be a whiz with the technology. Very talkative, social butterfly. She's a child that you can introduce to new things. You can introduce her to new foods. You can introduce her to new places. Definitely language. Very good. Very good. Got to make sure you teach her those things to know, when to tell an adult, what's an appropriate touch and what's not. Because I feel like they don't teach that in schools anymore. I taught that to my students last year, my little preschoolers. We had a whole activity about it. Let me tell y'all this real quick. So I had 20 students in my class. My babies were 3 and 4. We only had one 5-year-old. And one day, for whatever reason, it dawned on me to have this conversation. So I said to the students, I said, what do you do if a stranger comes up to you and says, hey little boy, hey little girl, I got some candy in my car. I got a puppy in my car. You want to see it? And the babies was like, yeah. I'm like, no. So I decided to have a whole lesson around that. Me and my assistant, we had a whole lesson on that. And it was crazy because out of 20 students, only one of them knew what to do. One of them. One of the kids said, you say stranger danger and you run. But that was the only baby that knew anything to do. The rest of them were like, yeah, I want to see the puppy. Yeah, I want some candy. And I had to, but I didn't want to teach it in a way that was too heavy for them because they're little. And their little minds would, if I taught it too heavy, their little minds would internalize that and have nightmares and things like that and be afraid. I don't want to teach them fear, but I want to teach them to be cautious. So we made it kind of fun, but we made it into an activity. And little kids that age, they're always taught you don't hit, you don't scratch, you don't bite. But I taught my students that year, that's a time that it's okay to hit, scratch, bite. Because say, for example, if a person tries to abduct a child and they don't catch them, the child scratches them and they catch the child, the DNA is under the fingers. The babies don't know that. But I know that as an adult. You see what I'm saying? And we live in a world where people are not very nice to children. People go out of their way sometimes to target children because they're vulnerable. So you want to make sure you teach those babies what to do in the case of an emergency. You want to teach them what's a good touch, what's a bad touch. You want to teach them Nobody goes down there. Don't teach them those little cute little cookie names. My aunt used to tell me, oh, you gotta wash a cookie. No, teach them the real names too. Like, be like, that's your vagina, that's your penis. You don't let nobody touch those things. And also the years of me working in children's services and working with abused children, and also being an abused child. You know, you learn that the babies need to learn these things. They need to know. A lot of abuse, most instances of sexual abuse come from family members or friends of family. So you want to be mindful of who watches your baby, who they sit on their laps of, and different things like that. Every man is not a creep. You have men that are not creeps. You know, you have some women that are creeps. Because I know plenty of people who then had those situations with females. So you just want to be mindful overall. Everybody be mindful with your children. I just wanted to say that. But going back to Sienna. Yes, Sienna, because she has so much fire vibration, that tells me that she has a lot of Gemini energy. That's what also tells me that she is talkative, because Gemini is ruled by the number 5. This also tells me that she's a little accident prone. Like I was saying, when she breaks the toys and shit like that. So just be prepared to buy some new toys, or don't buy anything too expensive, because she's going to break it. But she's going to be very fascinated with technology if she already isn't. She's going to be fascinated with the cell phone. She's going to be fascinated. And that's a lot of this generation now. They're fascinated with the technology. She also has a scattered kind of energy. She goes into one thing and her interests spark up and then die down very quickly. So she might be interested in playing with one thing for 2 minutes, and then she's like, oh, no, I don't want to do it no more. So you have to teach her to kind of finish what she starts. Or if she's playing with one toy, okay, put that toy away when you finish before you go on to the next toy, so that you're not constantly just going from the next thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing. And being kind of scattered and all over the place. Organization and discipline will be good for Sienna, because she can be prone to that scatteredness. She has several interests in many different things. Diversity is another way that she shines. She also is a popular child. A lot of kids like her. A lot of kids want to play with her. She's just a cool kid. But because her name equals the 8 vibration, she can be a little bit of a bully. So you got to make sure she's not bullying the other kids. Like, it's mine, you know. She could be a little bit of a bully. So you want to make sure that she's not being a bully, but that she's interacting well and she's sharing and different things with the other children. Okay. I hope that helped, y'all. That was the last child's name, and we went a little over time, but that is okay. I thank you all for your time. Please feel free to donate through Cash App. My Cash App is $A Zabriskie. Or Venmo. My Venmo is Ozma Zabriskie. It's my first name dash my last name. I'm going to type it in here again, just in case if anyone needs it. And next time we'll either tackle the same thing or we'll tackle something completely different. With the numerology, what I tend to do is I tackle one specific thing at a time, because numerology can go into so many things. It can go into all kind of things. It can go into the life path. It can go into the pinnacles. It can go into the alignment numbers. It can go into the personality numbers. It's so many things. So I want to focus on one thing each session that we do, so that I'm not scattered all over the place, because I have a tendency to drift. But yeah, we're going to focus on one thing at a time. So I hope the information that I gave tonight was helpful for everyone with dealing with their children. And I thank you all for listening and taking your time to support. I really appreciate it. And I hope everyone has a beautiful, blessed day. You know, I always start out with prayer in the beginning. And we just go into it. You know what I mean? Ask the ancestors for guidance, to guide my words, to guide my heart. And so that it speaks to you guys' hearts and you guys get the information that you need. And I'm used as a vessel, as a spiritual vessel, to give out whatever's needed to help everyone in whatever situation that they're in. So thank y'all so much. I'm actually going to be working tonight, so I'm about to get ready to go to work. Peace and love, everybody. Peaceful vibrations. Aho. Hey, awawa, hey. Take care.